And I'm Carter. Yeah, I can hear you perfect, man. I don't even know. I'm not even on there. Yeah, sorry guys. We're this is our first time in like 7 months because we obviously got busy with certain things. So we're just trying to get back in the swing of things. We know you guys like this stuff, so we're gonna do it as well. Our best ability. All right. Well, so I hope you guys are all doing okay. And then
Oh.
if I don't answer or something like that, I've been drinking my coffee here and I'm eating my McDonald's. So because I didn't have dinner yet, that's what we're doing right now. I got a Big Mac and then I got some fries and a medium cup black coffee.
Global device. Okay. Mike Ox.
You figuring it out?
I'm getting there. Oh, there we go. Okay, let me redo that intro since I'm an idiot and you couldn't hear me. Hello everybody! Welcome back to the Midnight River Rock Goblins podcast. I'm your host, it's Mintical. This is Carter, as you've already heard. And we're finally starting the podcast back up. This is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It has been 7 months. That is insane. But
Well, I kind of got busy with things and then I kind of forgot. And then, like, oh, wait a second. That's the thing.
yeah, so, we're happy to be back. Life got the better of us, but that does not mean that we are not going to, try to regularly keep up a schedule with the podcast. We would love to be able to do it weekly like was initially planned, but of course, things are difficult sometimes, and, it's, you kind of gotta just take breaks to get shit sorted. But we're back. We'll try to be back on a bit more regular than 7 months or so. We plan to do a Christmas special and at least one for almost every holiday. We missed the Halloween one, which was a big miss because we could have done an amazing thing with the stage. But in the end,
Yeah.
you can only do so much on limited time. So I apologize for the wait, and I sincerely hope that you can still enjoy the podcast and that you enjoy your stay here. So thank you for tuning in. We've already got 2 viewers, which is not bad. Or 1 audience member, but YouTube is saying 2 watching right now. So thank you to the
I'm
2
watching.
people who have already tuned
I'm
in.
watching.
I'm not. I'm looking at it through Streamlabs. So, but yeah.
All right. So
Yeah, you take it away.
So I think another good thing too that we didn't do anything for 7 months. We come back with different stories and different aspects on life and different views, and we're still the same good old friends and whatnot. And I hit him up the other day, and it was like we never stopped talking for a while. Which we did keep in contact, but obviously we have stuff going on in our lives. But I think it's ready that we hit that freaking wheel.
Goddamn right. All right, let's check out the wheel. Okay. Make your bets. What do you think our first topic is going to be?
I'm thinking it's gonna be games or cars.
Actually, it was neither. It was music. So our first topic for today is music. This is an interesting one because over the 7 months that I have been away from the podcast, I have actually gotten quite invested in making my own music. I got a new guitar not too long back. I am getting a keyboard, obviously one of the diddly diddly piano keyboards, for
Yep.
Christmas as well, which is going to be nice. I've kind of blossomed when it comes to music over the past 7 months, so it's a good topic.
Well, obviously been musically involved in the activities at school, and I've been singing since 3rd grade, which obviously is stupid. But then I took it into more of a professional level in my high school, and this is my last year. This is my senior year, so this is the last year to do anything. But with COVID, it kind of screwed it all up. But I played the trumpet 4th grade until now, so obviously. And then I played the French horn, the double horn, since 7th grade until now. And I found what my favorite instruments are and whatnot and how people play. But now we got a new musical going on in school. and I'm the pit band, and there's no one that wants to do it. Like we had like the last couple of years, we had like a lot of people signing up for the pit band. For those of you who don't know what the pit band is, it's a little band that plays for the people singing and whatnot, like a live band. And I was part of that. But now we only have 3 people. We have a trumpet, me, and since trumpet 1 is ridiculously high, we have to hire professionals for almost the whole band, and a trombone, and then a tuba.
Jesus, what a variety of instruments.
I know, so we had to hire everyone else. But and then there was something else, but I don't know. But that was I'm in music theory class, and there's a 2-year course at my school that's offered. And pretty much the first year you learn your basic stuff, which you already knew. But then the second year, you literally compose your own music. You learn everything about composing music, and at the end of the year, you compose your own composition, obviously, and then you have to conduct it in front of the high school band.
That is something.
You have to make each individual part and everything. It's complicated, it's fun, but you have to be devoted, and I am not devoted without my coffee, so.
I find music theory pain. Music theory is a extremely irritating experience in my limited time having done anything with it. I've never been too invested in music theory side of things, because as much as I love being able to go, that's all well and good, but there's only so much of that I can take before I go, okay, I get that this is normal and that is minor, but why are they like that? I don't really care. I just care how they sound. So I've never been one for music theory. I get the whole certain sounds sound like other sounds because frequencies and resonance and intonation. It's like, okay, yeah, I get that, but never really looked too far into it as a proper, thing to study so that I can play better.
Yeah. Well, I've been invested in music a long time, so it comes across me a little bit easier than most people. It is annoying. It is difficult. But when you get all this information, you understand what you're doing. You can improvise and do anything. You don't have to keep on asking people for what this is, what this. Obviously, no one is, perfect, and obviously, I don't know everything about music. But I found it a lot easier to learn and understand music when I have the, that music theory knowledge behind it.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Honestly, I can understand why.
Alright.
But yeah, no, music is it's an amazing thing, at least in my opinion. And I'm not 100% sure why I haven't gotten into it a lot sooner. I think it was because of a bad type of exposure to music when I was younger. Because in my primary school, you really didn't have a choice whether or not you was part of the school's shitty little parade for St. Patrick's Day. You didn't really have a choice in it. It was just kind of like, hey, if you want to not do this, fuck you. You are going to do this. So what my school would do is they would give you these shitty little tin whistles, and I doubt you even know what they are because it's a very Irish thing. But they're these high-pitched, squeaky bastards, and I don't like them. But it was very like, you have to learn this or else, you're getting in serious trouble.
Are they called recorders or something?
No. It was like a recorder, but higher pitched and shit. So...
Oh, fun. We had to do the recording.
As the name suggests, it was made of tin. So you, a music theory guy, can imagine the fucking resonation of that. Resonance, sorry.
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible.
It was terrible. And then, there was have you ever played gun game in Call of Duty?
Yeah.
You know when you get 3 kills with one gun, you go on to the next one?
Yeah.
If you do well enough on the tin whistle, you get to go and play the accordion. And if you do well enough at the accordion, you get to go and play the glockenspiel.
What the hell?
And it was so shite, because I was there, with my fucking recorder, or accordion, not recorder. Accordion, and I was like, wee woo, wee woo, I fucking love this instrument, woo. And then we had to play fucking Dawning of the Day, which was this song. If I could find my actual wood flute, which I have somewhere around here, that'd be great. But because I could play it for you, but it's not that good of a song, really.
Yeah.
it doesn't sound right on guitar, but trust me when I say that it is ass, and I hate it. But you really had to play it. You was told, do this, play this, be good. And so I kind of had like bad exposure.
I when I signed up for, well, we actually obviously had to do the recorder thing that was forced upon us, and that was horrible. But
Yeah.
when we had the option to sign up for band, orchestra, or choir, I put saxophone as my first choice, and then trumpet as my second. But all the popular kids got the saxophone, right? And I got the trumpet. And I'm happy that I got the brass instrument because it led me in a good path in the music world. But all the popular kids that had obtained the saxophone skills dropped out 3 years later. All of them. All of them.
Jesus
Like, you're just
fucking
gonna waste
Christ.
people's time and music needs or wants. Just don't do it. Stop wasting people's time and get out of there.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like, I remember fucking... So my principal... So our primary school worked in a really weird way. You know how usually the principal kind of, like, looks over all of the teachers and, stuff like that? The principal was the 6th class, teacher. Which was really weird. And I know your American schools work weird, but here in normal people country... You go into school at age 5, you go into junior infants, then next year, and everything then from there on is, next year. So it goes junior infants, senior infants, 1st class, 2nd class, 3rd class, 4th class, 5th class, and 6th class. And once you finish 6th class, you go into secondary school. So the principal was the teacher for the 6th class. And he was a great guy. He was, he was alright. He was smart. He'd done all of what he needed to. He was funny. But one thing about him was, if you didn't fucking blow on the tin whistle right, then he would hold up the entire class to get you to do it. And it was so shit. Because, that was really wasting people's time. Especially, as much as you can say, oh, you was only in primary school, it can't have been that important, and it wasn't that important. But, to our little fucking stupid heads, we decided every second that he is speaking to us about metal whistle, we are missing out on run around kickball time. Because I know now, at least in my school, I don't know how your primary level education worked, but there was no set times for classes. It wasn't like, oh, math is at 12 o'clock to 13 o'clock to 1 o'clock. It was, oh, we'll just do it whenever I feel like it.
Oh.
So, but because no one liked tin whistle practice, he'd always be like, oh, after this we can go do PE or gym or whatever you call it.
We call it that, yeah.
Yeah. So, we were there like, oh, so let's just get this over with. But fucking big man principal said no, because if you don't blow right, then we're holding the entire class up because of you. Fuck you. So, we really had to do it right, or else we actually wasted our own time, and it was really shit, and it imprinted, I don't like music, blah, 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 blah. So, I never really enjoyed playing music, and I guess that's why I never really got into it from a young age until recently enough. My lovely, my girlfriend and my good pal, Juggis, actually, got me into playing guitar in the first place. Particularly Juggis, actually. I don't think he's been on the podcast, but he's a great guy.
Might have, actually.
Maybe
so.
he was. I don't remember. But, he was a great guy. And, he plays electric guitar, he plays bass. He's big metalhead, I guess. But, and he's what got me into playing guitar, and he taught me, oh, do this chord, blah, 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 blah. And that was, really what made me think, maybe it wasn't that I hate playing music, and it's that I hated the way that I was being taught to play music. And that's kind of where I blossomed into actually, being musician, dare I say. Like, I got 2 ukuleles on my floor, got a guitar, I play harmonica, I got my fucking woodwind flute, getting a keyboard, got a piano downstairs,
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, that's all I have to say in the music topic. I mean,
Yeah.
if I've had my experience in music, I love it. I highly recommend anyone picking up an instrument. It's fun once you know how to do it. It's just repetition after repetition.
Especially
All
while
it
you're
is.
young.
Oh yeah, it's just easier to pick up when you're young, obviously, because you learn more.
Yeah, like especially for me as well, this helped. When you're learning like your first song, I'm just gonna use the example of playing on guitar. Now, my favorite band of all time has a very funny name, and I'm sure a lot of you wouldn't know this band, but it's called Crywank. Funny name, actually incredible songs. There was this one song. Let me grab my guitar because I can play it off my head completely. Called GB Eating GB whilst listening to GB. What kind of fucking name is that? Hell if I know. But it's very simple. But I found it very easy to get into playing it simply because I loved the song so much. And that's the whole song. It's so simple, and it's just a nice song. So I thought, hey, I like this. This would be a great first song to play. And because I enjoyed the song, I enjoyed the process of learning it. And obviously, like Carter said, through repetition and repetition, I picked up the almost muscle memory and coordination on how I would be finger picking and where to move my fingers and how to do it. So,
And
yeah.
another thing I noticed too is obviously repetition, but you can't expect to pick up an instrument and learn it over the next few weeks. It's a long-term investment. If you're going through a brass instrument, I can tell you it's a long-term investment. You have to look ahead. I know guitar, and I learned that pretty decently quickly, but I think that brass is a longer-term investment to actually get good tone quality and whatnot than orchestra or string instruments. But from what I've heard, and I'm not biased, that brass instrument or the woodwind band is much more on par and on tune than the orchestra or string ensemble is. That's just from my experience in my school. It could change, it could vary. But from what I've noticed, that once the orchestra sounds good, it's incredible. But I just always have seen that the bands sound more on tune and pitch in the schooling levels.
Yeah, definitely. But, that was a lovely rant about music. And, as
Yeah, so we
Carter
should
was about
switch
to
the
say,
wheel here.
it's time to spin the wheel again. So,
Yes, sir.
let's see what our next topic for the day will be. Yeah, take your bets.
Probably something to do with life or books.
Gotta spin it again. It landed on music again. Let's go.
They're gonna problem with this too.
Yeah, this always happens. Or actually, it's the next topic on the wheel, culture. We had a couple notes for culture because it's a funny one. So, as I'm sure you've picked up purely by accent, I am from the questionably wonderful land of Great Britain, and Carter is from America. So,
See, I'm from New York, right? That's the northeastern part of the United States. When people hear New York, they're like, "Oh, you're from New York City?" No, I hate New York City with a fucking passion. They're a bunch of cock eaters. That's all I say. I'm from the northern New York State, so I'm not from New York City. That's all I have to say. I don't like them. I really don't.
but yeah, see, because of this, we've had some very, very interesting interactions. Especially... What do you... Wait, hold on. Say something?
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, can you hear double of me in the stream?
I'm not watching the stream
I'm about
anymore.
to lose my shit. Yeah, neither am I. Hold on. I'm about to lose my shit if you can, because that is very annoying.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because I might have 2 audios. Let me check.
I don't know.
Interesting interaction.
Sorry for technical difficulties. We'll
Nope,
get it figured
sounds
out,
fine.
people.
It sounds fine. So, we're gonna
Alright, you continue.
pretend that it is. Just turn off the bad sounding one and just do real quick test. Testing. Especially. What do you. See how it sounds on the stream. Hold on. I'm about to lose my shit if you can, because that is very annoying. Sorry about the issues, my friends.
I'm sure.
Because I might have two audios. Let me check.
I don't know.
Interesting interaction.
Sorry for technical difficulties. We'll
Nope,
get it figured
sounds
out,
fine.
people.
It sounds fine. So, we're gonna
Alright, you continue.
pretend that it is. Just turn off the bad sounding one and just do real quick test. Okay, yeah, no, I need to turn that way back on. Ooh. Anyway, sorry about the technical difficulties. I'm so sorry. This is the first time we've done this in 7 months. But yeah. You still
Anyway,
there?
so the cultural differences that we've had, obviously living over the Great Pond.
The Great Pond.
Yes.
So, bit of a story time, which is still, of course, on topic of culture and difference in communications. So, now, I forgot the context, but I was talking about what my Great British friends would know as candy floss. And I got a very, very puzzled, huh? From Carter when I said this. And that took me off guard. I thought he was just uncultured as fuck and living under a rock. And we spent about, what would you say, 10, 15 minutes trying to explain it?
It wasn't even trying to explain it. We were trying to figure out what the hell each other were, like, what the fuck we were talking about. Like, candy floss? What the fuck is that? Is that like Twizzlers or some shit? That's what I thought.
Well, as it turns out, these American people,
folks,
people with heavy air quotes, call it cotton candy.
I think cotton candy, or candy floss, looks more like freaking cotton than it does floss.
I can't disagree, but I also can't agree, because what in the name of tarnation? Fucking, why would you want to eat candy? Cotton. Fucking hell, I am having a seizure. Why would you want to eat cotton?
But why would you want to eat floss?
Because floss is good for your teeth! It is essential for good dental hygiene.
Yeah, but candy is not good for hygiene, so
yeah,
cotton would be better for your teeth.
They counteract each other.
They do. They both have good points, but I'm still siding cotton candy.
And I'm siding with candy floss. But that was a very strange cultural difference, and I'm sure there's many others. Like one time,
I don't know.
Like when I was,
I don't really know much of anything else, honestly.
I have one that is bit weird, but not too long ago. I know anybody who is regularly on call with me can vouch for this. I have recently been overcome with a new addiction, Hot Pockets, because my local supermarket said Hot Pocket. So now we have Hot Pockets, and they're so simple and useful and easy to eat. You slap it in the microwave, you turn it on for 2 minutes, take it out, and boom. And I love this. But I remember distinctly having a conversation with Carter about what the fuck a Hot Pocket even was.
Yeah.
And looking back on it, that's so weird.
Yeah, I used to love Hot Pockets, but then at my dad's house, that's what, as kids, we loved it. So we ate so much of it that we ended up growing tired of it. So I don't like Hot Pockets no more.
Yes, the Hot Pockets, my friend in chat, whom I'm almost scared to say the name of for reasons. But yes, Hot Pockets. Anyway, so it was a very strange interaction because, now that I'm looking at it, Hot Pockets like a staple of my diet. But they weren't for the longest time, and it was weird. It was really weird. But, you know, that's about all we have for culture. Culture is a pretty context-specific topic. And we still got about 6 minutes out of it, so not terrible.
Time to spin that freaking wheel.
Double pressing the spin wheel. Let's see how this goes.
Yes.
It still managed to land on culture. Let's fucking go. Alright, tech. That's a completely different side of the spectrum. Okay, let's talk about tech. What did I have written down on my notes for tech? Right, my game and modifications for popular video game Minecraft. I don't know if Carter has anything for tech as a topic.
I mean, all I gotta really say is that, well, I got a funny story. But first of all, I want to mention the launch of Forza Horizon 5.
Save it for the games, boy.
Oh, that is a topic, ain't it? Games.
Yeah.
Well, here's one. These schools here in America have become so dependent on fucking technology over the past, reign of this COVID-19. And I'm not going to get into any politics here, but the schools have become so freaking reliant on it that when the fucking Wi-Fi is down, you cannot do anything. They don't do freaking paper lab work. In chemistry last year, I fucking bombed it because they didn't have stupid paper. And everyone that says, oh, it's no different, yes, it is. You don't work on a stupid 11-inch screen Chromebook that can't do shit.
Yeah. No, like, there's obviously the argument of it really depends on who you're talking about. As strange as it might seem, I'm not the most social person. I run a lot of YouTube channels, but I wouldn't really go out of my way, and I would try to avoid, contact with people for a lot of it. So for me, online schooling works a lot better. But that is a very person-specific thing.
It is, and I have no problem. I have no problem with the people that like to work on a computer or stuff like that. People are different. I'm just going. I can't sit in front of a computer all day. I mean, yeah, sure, I love waking up and just watching the freaking classroom in my pajamas with a cup of coffee in my hand. But I'm not actively involved. And there's an actual study somewhere on the freaking internet, I don't know where, but we were talking about this in school multiple different times, that people who write on pieces of paper, who take their notes on pieces of paper, versus the people who take their notes on a computer, yes, the notes on the piece of paper are more time-consuming, but people scored 20-something% higher on a test that, who took the notes on the piece of paper compared to the people who use computer. And, the other day, we have to do all of our physics work mainly online. Our normal class, there's a decent amount of papers, I guess. It wasn't too bad, like a paper a day. But for the lab class, we have to do it all online. And you have to open up all these different graphical analysis softwares and run it on a stupid little Chromebook from 2015. That's what they give you. I'm not going to go out and buy a computer. It's a waste of money. I got better things to spend my money on. But I couldn't even do my freaking lab. The teacher could not teach. The teacher upstairs, the chemistry teacher, could not teach her class because the Wi-Fi was down. That tells you how dependent we are on the technology and the rise and the surge of technology. Especially on wintertime, it's going to be super slow because the bandwidth can't take that. And yes, you've got 5G and they're improving on it, but it's not going to be the same as old-fashioned paper. The teacher is more involved with the students, and it's easier on them because most of my teachers are a little bit older. But it's easier on everyone to do it with paper. It's a physical copy, and there's no glitches. There's no non-saving. I'm old-fashioned. I don't like doing the computer stuff. I don't have a problem if you do. I don't at all. Do you? I'm not concerned about you. I'm just concerned right now that I can't even freaking do as well. I had a 96 average. Now, I've got things going on in my life that, distract me, and I have my own issues right now, which if we get to life section, we might discuss it. But, that still defeats the purpose because I had a 96 average before the other Chromebook, and now I'm down to an 88, 85. And I'm surprised I even got up there, to be honest with you. Because these teachers are so heavily dependent on the technology. And it just ruins the whole learning experience for me, in my opinion. And that's all I got to say about the topic.
Yeah, that's completely fair. I completely see where you're coming from with that. Because, again, I can't really accurately comment on my, my grades compared, online versus offline because of a lot of outside factors. And obviously, me as a person, like I've already said, I'm on the less social side of things. So when I go into school, I've obviously got that bit of pressure on me of, I'm going to have to see a lot of people today. I'm going to have to, do all this. But my grades in school compared to out of school don't really change. So I would definitely lean towards I do actually have better grades in school as a subject, but not as, overall. Because just as an example, we had to use calculated grades for our, I don't know if you have these in America, but our summer test last year. Our junior cert, in fact. Because obviously we weren't in school for the majority of the year. So they took a kind of like an average, a high-end average of our work online. And I'm using science as an example because I'm a science nut. I got 83% on my science, which was okay. My test, in actual school, and of course with different subjects because we'd gone through different subjects during school time and all of that stuff. But my grades in school, I did actually get up to 90-something% in school. But of course that was on a smaller, more, restricted set of subjects in science. Yeah. So it's hard to gauge, but I would say I do slightly better in school, just overall.
Yeah.
Would I say that's related to tech per se? I would say it's not because of the tech side of things. I would say it's more distraction side of things. Sitting down at my computer desk right here, even over the course of the stream, I've been fidgeting through tabs, I've been looking at our stream analytics, all of this stuff. I'm not focusing on one thing. Say I was in school, I would be doing the same thing. Crossing my fingers that none of my teachers ever find this. Me and my friend Storm, right? We was in Spanish class online. And I shit you not, we went on a Discord call, and I was playing Ark for the entirety of the Spanish class. Streaming it to him over Discord. It's not easy to keep track on one thing. And did I pass my Spanish? See, of course I passed my Spanish. But, did I pass it as well as I did in class? No. Is that because online learning is harder for me, or is that because I was more distracted? That's up for debate. But tech has some kind of influence, but it's hard to tell whether it's a positive or a negative influence. I know a lot of my friends, even friendly man in chat here, only recently went back to, physical school. He'd been online for a lot of it. And, of course, I'm not going to get personal with this, but, it didn't help him, per se. But that is a very personal, by person basis. You probably got better grades, me and him got worse grades. It's just luck of the draw, it's just how your brain's wired. It's the whole, are you better at writing down things to remember them, or walking around and pacing it in your head remembering, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So it really does depend. But tech it might be the cause of it. It really does depend on the person, so can't vouch.
Well, how about this? How about this? You have a school, right?
Yeah.
No phones allowed, no computers in the room, just a projector or whatever they have to use to put their sheets up on the board. Or not even that, right? Just, the simple schooling, basic. Now, take that simple schooling aspect, right? And add your phone into it. You're allowed to be on your phone. Add the computers into it. Add the programs, the software. Add anything you want, like an unblocked Wi-Fi source. I think almost anyone that isn't a complete, school person would at least some point during the class check their phone, go on Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you use.
Meta.
And that's where I'm coming from. The technology may be easier and fun, to comprehend for some people, not for me. I don't like doing my lab work on there. But for some people, that might be easier. But the technology has the disadvantages too. And I can almost guarantee you that, everyone, almost, I'm not, perfect with this answer or, 100% accurate or any research behind it, but I can almost guarantee you that people who have no technology in the classroom and are being taught straight, they are going to succeed and they're going to be more focused. Will it be a little bit more stressful and annoying and tedious? Yes.
Yes.
But I think technology aids us in a way to where we can't do that no more, and that's the problem I'm having. Like, calculators, you can even, after using calculators and whatnot here, you can't even do simple math like everyone else can, like the adult, like my grandparents and my parents, they were allowed calculators, not to use them on tests. Well, now they had to use everything. And they had the more mental capacity without relying on technology more. Well, we have the technology to our, in our grasp that we can use it, but we rely on it. And when we don't have the technology, we're completely not useless, but completely dumbfounded. And that's the problem most teenagers in the schooling society have now. That's the main problem in my eye.
Yeah. No, I'm guessing that, the school with all of the technology and the phones allowed and such is a bit of a mirror of yours.
Yeah, I would have to say that's a mirror of my high school.
Whether it is or isn't by pure chance, the school without, electronics is very, very, very reminiscent of my own. We're not allowed on our phones. We're not regularly allowed on the computers. There's a projector for, showing what the teacher is scribbling down on the page. And we have to scribble down what she scribbled down. So we've got very similar to what, you was describing. But what I've found, and this, I know this is kind of going off the topic of tech now, but, is that kids found more of a way to entertain themselves that wasn't on their phone and distract themselves and be even more disrupting than schools without. I don't know what the schools over in America are like, but here, I shit you not, there have been instances where kids have been so bored that they threw pens and pencils at the teacher. So, there was a pretty hefty pencil chucked at my geography teacher in second year. And
I understand. That's a good thing there. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
And people can always prove me wrong. I'm not, not open. I am open-minded. I don't even know what I don't even know what the opposite for that is. I'm
I am not simple-minded.
But then again, and I excuse the language right here, but I was told, because we have physics first period in the morning. That's annoying. And then my physics teacher also teaches the class called meteorology. And that's mainly the younger kids, if you choose to go down that route in the science, wings and whatnot. I didn't choose that route. But apparently one of the freaking kids had a Bluetooth speaker on their phone and was playing Pornhub music throughout his class. Like the Pornhub intro. And the teacher literally flipped out and said, "Are you fucking kidding me? Turn that nonsense off."
No. That is terrible.
My point. It gives the power to these kids to mess with shit. And another thing, too, I was told, this was when, they started using the school websites and whatnot. Apparently, my teacher was telling me that at one point in time, one of the kids hacked into the website and uploaded someone's nudes to the freaking school website.
What the fuck? That is so fucked.
Yeah! And I'm not saying, technology's doing this. It's the power we're giving these children and these kids that are ruining it.
Yeah.
I'm not against technology. It's just the problem of that, the power that we give these kids, and they don't give a shit what they do. Yeah, I know throwing pencils is annoying and may hurt, but like, do we really need Pornhub music in the middle of physics or meteorology? No. That's a little bit more worse than I think a little pencil thrown at me, and that varies on each person, and that could be completely different in a school. Like you could have a school in the complete opposite of the United States, and they might be on the phones, and they might have all good kids, and it depends on the region.
Yeah.
But mine are either troublemakers, hicks, druggies, or the popular kids with money, or nobodies.
Yeah. No, I
And I don't mean to be rude to anyone, but that's what it is. And then you've got like the slim majority, I mean not slim majority, the slim pickings that are decently well balanced, rounded characters that actually go on to do something with their lives. And that's about it. There isn't really a variety of people in my school. You have the city people or you have the hicks. And then they have their each own subdivisions, but this is getting off topic now, so.
Yeah. Just real quick, rerolling to culture for a second. Hick is not a term I have ever heard in my life.
You have not.
Nope. That is not a term for me.
So
I know what you mean. That's like country people, I'm guessing.
Yes, hillbilly, yeah.
Kind of picked that up. But that is an interesting little thing to, go back to our old point of, that's not something that I hear. I've never heard that. That's a very big culture difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're ready to spin this wheel, because what time is it here for me? It's almost to the podcast, but we can go over it.
Alrighty. Hit the spinny wheel yet again. Spin wheel, give us a good topic. Games.
Oh man, I don't have much to talk about this. I've been off the gaming.
I have a bit of an interesting thing
are we
to say here.
talking about video games, or are we talking about like board games and whatnot? That's a good question.
Well, now, I kind of always presumed it was video games. But
True.
we can actually incorporate your board games in a minute. I do actually have something interesting to say that is plugging for a good friend of mine. That's not even a friend that
Sure.
I've never spoken to in my entire life. A game that I have been following for around 2 years called Wrought Flesh. Anyone who talks to me in real life and is watching this right now is probably sick of hearing this. But Wrought Flesh released today, and it is amazing. It was so worth the 2-year wait that I put into the damn thing. And very interesting thing, I was actually the first person on Steam by achievements to beat the game and finish it, which was really nice. I got the final achievement for beating the final boss, and when I got it, I saw the value go from 0% of players completed this to 0.01% of players completed this, and I ascended. I went to another plane of existence. I was so happy, and my dear friend in chat with the name I shan't pronounce here was there to witness it, and it was amazing. I've since poured... How many hours have I poured into Wrought Flesh? Let me check in a second if Steam wants to stop being an ass. It's a lot anyway over the course of the day. I bought it within the first minute that it released. It's a biopunk RPG game where you go around and you change your organs out for other organs to change your stats, and it's really bloody and nasty and gory. But it's so cool. I love it. Like if you get an acid lung, you can put a lung in, and then your finger gun that you can use if you run out of ammo leaves little trails of acid where you shoot, and things like that. Like, it's really, really cool. The game's already got an update, but, yeah, I've already played 4.7 hours of it. I've completed the game 1.5 times. But, yeah, there's only 4 achievements that I've not completed because I don't know how to do it. Gladiator, the fight pits, don't know what the fight pits were, I never got there. A drug trip, I don't know how to have a drug trip, and then there's 2 hidden achievements. But it was well worth the wait, and it's only €17. So if you've got a relatively decent computer, oh, please do yourself a favor and go play it. It is incredible. It's all in PlayStation 1 style graphics, and it's just very nice.
Interesting. Never heard of it, but if I had a computer, I'd play it.
Oh, he's very strongly recommended, actually.
So, obviously, you know how I am, just based off my whole technology rant. I don't play very many games. I have tons of game systems, and no, I'm not spoiled and this and that. I just have been given them. I found them in freaking garage. It's like a barn find of consoles. That's what it is. I've got multiple different consoles, but they're like people, oh, I don't want this. or hey, do you want this? Or hey, I found this. Or hey, I look at this, I found this. You know, I don't have a need to go out and buy a $600, $500, or sometimes even upward to $1,000. No reason for it, in my eyes. Now, people in other eyes, I don't care if you're like that. I don't care. You can do whatever you want. I'm not going to stop talking to you because you're a game fanatic. But the only game I've been playing much is Forza Horizon 5. And I think the game's pretty interesting. I wish the graphics a little bit better in the 1S. But again, that's last gen console, so I don't really know the capabilities of the X really without actually seeing it in person. But the game's pretty good. The sounds are a lot better. That's what my main problem was. And then some of the suspension fixes are pretty cool in there. But I don't really have much to say about video games. I mean, I downloaded Snow Runner today. I have it on Game Pass. Didn't try that yet. But I've been more playing card games and board games. Like, I'll go over to my friend Edward's house, and we'll play Monopoly a lot, and that's fun. And we'll play this game I have called Smartass. It's a trivia game, and it's like a who's this, and they give you clues, and you read down the card, and the first person to guess it, gets the card, and they get a point. Who, where, what, and then there's a hard-ass question, which is the hard ones. And then I picked up this new card game that was also taught by Edward and his family. It's called Hearts. I don't really know how to explain it. You have to watch a video on it because it's very complicated at first, but it's really quick, fast-paced. Pretty much, one person leads out. They put down a card. Let's say I put down a 4 of spades. The second person, you can play with 2 people. I'm going to use 3 people for this example. Second person, let's say all they have is the 8 of spades. So they put down the 8 of spades. You have to follow suit if you have it. And then the last person puts down the Queen of Spades. Now, the person who ever put the highest card down takes all the cards. In this game, you do not want points. And the cards that are worth points are the hearts. Like, I don't know, 2 hearts, that's worth 1 point. Or 9 hearts, that's worth 1 point. But if you get the Queen of Spades, like I just mentioned, that is worth 13 points. You do not want points. You want the lowest amount of points by the end of the game. So whoever has the highest card there, which player number 3 had the Queen of Spades, they will take all the cards on the table, and the only card on there that's worth points is the Queen of Spades, so they would get 13 points automatically. And the other 2 are going to discard pile. And you pretty much go until everyone's out of cards, calculate the points. It's fun. It sounds complicated, but I highly recommend it to you all, and that's about all the things I have to say about games, honestly.
Well, that was a pretty good chat about games, actually. That went a lot better than I was honestly expecting. So yeah, how long has this been going? We have gotten about 10 minutes out of that. So yeah, that's good. 50 minutes of stream so far. Shall we spin the wheel again? Or
sure.
You got something more to say on the games topic?
You can spin it.
Sounds good to me.
Give her a good old spin.
Spinny win. Landed on games again, because we kind of quirky like that.
Sure.
Alright. Music. Fuck off. Give us a new topic, mate. Seriously. Alright.
The wheel's been a cockbite tonight.
Life. That's a pretty solid
one. Obviously, we haven't been on here in 7 months, so this might go on for a long, long time.
If I can actually interrupt you really quick. This is where the big one comes in.
The big one?
Look at the list. We've got a very interesting thing lined up here that I have been on the edge of my seat waiting for like the past week or so, because he wanted to get my live reaction on stream.
Yes, so let's just start out with this. This is gonna kind of make it kind of funny for all of you guys, and we need something kind of hilarious on here. Everyone's had their weird share of dreams, right? And there's dreams are scary, funny, or sad, whatever. But then there's those dreams that, like, you wake up and, like, what the fuck just happened? And those are the dreams that I've been having, because I've been put on a whole bunch of different anxiety medications, OCD medications, I'll get to that later. All the different sorts. And, well, I had this one medication I was on. It's called Topamax, or topamate, whatever the fuck it is. And I have a thing called tremors. It's a neurological issue, whatever. It's where you have like a natural shake. It's not a natural shake. It's like a toned down version of Parkinson's. That's the way that looks. But there's ways of dealing with it and ways and things that affect it. But anyways, and this was a heavy duty ass motherfucking medication. But so I had this dream, right? And I've had this dream 3 different times throughout the night. Like it would start over and repeat and progress more and more each time I had it. And Mentico, if you feel at any point in time you want to not interrupt, but button for your reaction, I want to hear this. Right. So anyways, a lot of you don't know, but my uncle passed away, and we don't know when this was like 2013, but he had his own health issues. I'm not going to go in depth, but he passed away. And those of you who are in the States have probably heard of Syracuse, New York. Well, there's a hospital there. It's a very good hospital called Upstate, which is literally upstate New York, their main hospital. We were there. We walked in. It was nothing what it looks like, but in my dream, that's where I figured I was. And we're walking in these double doors and to go inside the building. It's a gloomy day. We walk in, and straight to the right of you, you got this lightly, lit, bright hallway that's wide, freshly renovated. People going in and out. And ahead of you, you've got this hallway, and the farther you look down it, it gets older. Like, do you guys know the Fallout 4, like, abandoned vaults? That's what it looked like. It almost looked like abandoned cobwebs, brown, worn out, like that off yellow hint, and then the light bulbs weren't like LEDs or like old-fashioned light bulbs. And then towards the end of the hallway, there was a stairs to go up, and then you take a right, and then take another right, and you go back up another pair of stairs there. So I was with my friend Edward and my cousin Renee. I thought it'd be a good idea, because I guess we were visiting my uncle in the hospital. And this was a few weeks ago, so obviously this was after his passing. But, so I said, hey, let's go for a walk, and we'll go down this abandoned hallway, because that looks cool as shit. So we go up this flight of stairs, and it's got these cobwebs, the paneling off the side of the walls coming off. And I thought it was cool as shit. So we're going through there, we go through, and I don't know, have you seen the movie Shining, Menticle?
Oh, of course.
You know that hallway?
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus.
That's what it fucking looks like.
Oh, fuck. Oh,
and the lights, there's only 2 lights in this long-ass cocksucking hallway. And it's just flickering. It's flickering. Cobwebs, the whole ceiling tiles are coming down. There's trash on the floor, dirt, dust, everything. Imagine like this fucking place hasn't been touched in 40 years. You see like those abandoned hospitals on YouTube or TikTok? That's what it looked like. An abandoned hospital that has not been touched since the 70s at all. It's like an abandoned wing in a hospital. So I go down this hallway, we're shooting the shit. We go up a flight of stairs, but I said to myself, this fucking pair of stairs looks very, very familiar. And then I woke up.
That is so fucking weird.
Well, listen, there's more. So then the dream continues exactly the way I just said it, and now I'm back at these fucking stairs, right? And nothing was skipped. It was the same detail, same everything, every single freaking time. And I believe I was walking up the stairs, and it kind of faded into darkness, right? And then it kind of faded back in, and I'm not going to say where or whatnot, but I live because my grandparents own a store. It's a mom and pop store, which is just not a big corporation. I live on the side of it, and they live above it. So that's why these stairs look familiar, because I realized in my head it was my fucking grandparents' house above the store. But everything was damaged. Everything was broken. The railings were broken. The ceiling tiles were hanging off like a string. The lights were there was one light in the whole entire house. I don't know if you guys can imagine, but back in the 1800s, they had like the square buildings here in America with their little cupolas on top. It's a very old building. This house is very old. 1800s it was built. 1802. But anyways, I walk up these stairs and everything's in shambles. The carpet's all fucking ripped up. There's holes in the wall. Every door is shut except for the living room and the kitchen. The only light is on is in the kitchen. Everything felt off, but I had a need that I needed to search for my grandparents. They weren't there, but there's cobwebs. I can't stress it enough. Everything was cobweb, dusty, touched up. Like the chairs were flipped over. TV was broken. Just in shambles. That's what all I can say. Shambles. And it was a very vivid, fucking detailed dream. Really? So I'm like, well, Edward and Renee, they ain't here. So we're going to continue our walk. So then we go by the stairs. There's another big bedroom. That's the master bedroom. We walk in there, and it fades into darkness. And then we see this hallway again. It's a different hallway, but it reminds me of the first one. So then we're still in this hospital. Remember, we're still in the fucking hospital. And it's abandoned wing way back, who the fuck knows where. So, we go through this hallway again, and I climb up a couple flights of stairs. Now we're on the 3rd floor or so. And then, 3rd floor. So, I go up these weird stairs. They almost look like the same thing as my grandparents, but they're not. They're steeper stairs. They're old. They're rickety, maybe from the 30s. And then I get to the top of the stairs, and there's this empty room. The best way I can describe it, it was like a box room that was super small, maybe by 30 by 30, like, the floor span, the area of the floor. 30 by 30 feet. Nothing huge. Not even that. Probably even like freaking 25 feet, 20 feet. But it was just one light bulb with a string. So I had to turn it on, and then you see the damage in this room. Just wood that's been like water stains on it, plywood's fallen off, garbage. I was sifting my feet through garbage on the floor. Like it hasn't been touched. Like everything has been sitting on the ground. So this looks really weird, but hey, I said, Renee, let's get the fuck going. I want to see what the hell is over here. So around the corner in this room, it was a boxy room, but there's a corner to it. So, and it was like this little bit of a hallway. At the end, there was a trap door in the side of the wall, and the ceiling was really low, and so I had to kind of duck. And then I open the door, and I kind of like fall in there a little bit, and then we're going. Have you seen the movie Coraline, Mendicle?
Of course. That's another classic.
You know that little trap door that she fucking goes through?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Oh, and then with like the fucking like inner like tube type thing leading it across, or?
Yeah, like the cobweb feel, that whole aesthetic cobweb feel. That's what this whole abandoned wing in the hospital. And the farther you went, the more, detailed it got with all that. The worse it got. Like, no one's been there in 40, 50 years. So then it fades into darkness after traveling this little tunnel thing. And then I wake up. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I go back to sleep. And then the dream repeats itself, every single detail, like I just told you. And I'm walking in this room again, and it fades into darkness. And then when I walk through the hallway, I see this little light, and it comes open, and then it's dim. But I'm at my aunt's house. I'm like, what the fuck? This is an older house too, but it ain't as old as our house is. So we walk in the living room, like there's no way you can go in the living room from where we walked in. But there's one light on in the living room. Is this a little lamp? It's yellow lit, old. Everything is in shambles again. The bookcase is knocked over. The TV's knocked over. The Wii's on the floor. Wires everywhere. Ceiling's hanging down. Cobwebs. And then there's a dining room, a wooden dining room, the big room. And then there's a kitchen. And it's a good 40, maybe 30, 40 feet away from where you're staying in the living room. And it felt off. It felt weird. And it felt like we shouldn't be there. So I'm like, well, I'm going to go upstairs and look at my cousin Josh's room, right? That's what we were going to do. As soon as I took the first step on the stairs, like, you didn't know anyone was there. If you're looking at the house like that, you don't see anyone there. So I walk up the stairs, take the first step, and then you hear clattering, dishes, like someone's doing the dishes out in the kitchen and by the one light that's on. I knew where the sink is. I said, oh shit. And my heart started pounding. I said to Renee and Edward, you guys better start running back. I'm going to go see who the hell this is, because no one's supposed to be here right now. I walk in the dining room, and there's like a little corner to the left. You can't see unless you're in the dining room, because the dining room's connected to the living room, and the walls in between. So they walk into the dining room, there it scared the fucking shit out of me. Just tall ass motherfucking dude, like 7 foot tall. Lanky ass, looks like he's been doing coke or something, like that nasty lanky ass, right? And he's wearing this brown sweatshirt that's like really scummy, and no offense to people that can't afford it, but it's like this really stained sweatshirt with a nasty brown, wearing these sweatpants, and he's wearing his nasty off-white shoes, and he's got this hood over him. And this motherfucker starts reaching out for me, but he runs past me, grabs Edward, drags him into the kitchen by his feet. And I'm trying to get Edward, but this guy is fucking 7 foot, so I'm like 6 foot. So I'm looking up to this cocksucker, and he's sitting there taking off with my friend Edward. And I think this is the last time I woke up, and then a dream happens again. This is the last time I wake up. So the dream happens again, and I remember where he's dragging him. Edward, and then it just skips for a second. I don't know what's going on. Like, there's so much going on, I don't know. And I look over in the kitchen, and all I see, and I'm sorry, Edward, but all I see is freaking Edward's shoes sticking out of the fucking oven and the flames engulfing him.
What the fuck?
Edward was fucking shoved into the goddamn oven, and he was gone. Like, all I saw was his Air Jordans or Nikes, whatever the fuck he has, high tops, he plays basketball, sticking out of the oven. And then this tall motherfucker, this tall motherfucker looks over at me, and I said, "Oh my God, Renee, we gotta get going." So we run through this fade and back in the hallway, and this guy's on our asses. So he grabs Renee, and I yank Renee over, and I kind of throw her over the railing, and she kind of falls a little bit, but she goes. And then this guy is so close to me, I could feel him, literally feel him touching like the hood of my shirt or the back of my shirt,
Yeah.
And so I jump over this thing, and this guy's tripping over the garbage and whatnot because he's super freaking tall, and he's almost hitting his head in the ceiling. So he's running down the stairs, like almost like 2 steps, and he's down a whole flight of stairs. We're running, and then we fade back into the hallway, and then we fade back into my grandparents' house, and we're running around my grandparents' house, looking for them to save us, and trying to get them out of there for safety. They're not there. So we're panicking, and this guy's on her ass, following us down my grandparents' stairs again. We're in the hallway, following us. And then now we're back into the original flight of stairs. Remember where it split?
Yeah.
Now we're there. We're running down, and this guy's standing right at the edge of like where the old abandoned part started and the new part started. Like there's a line, like a solid line where you can see they stopped the renovations. And we're standing at those double doors in the beginning, and this guy's leaning over the fucking balcony, or not the balcony, leaning over the fucking railing, like to where his head's like upside down, coming from like the ceiling. You know what I'm saying? Like it goes past the ceiling. He's peeking over, looking at us with these fucking nasty, bloodshot, like bagged eyes. Like this guy looks like he's been on drugs for years. I'm like, what the fuck? So then I walk out with Edward's not there. He's in the fucking oven burning up. I'm in like shambles trying to recollect myself. Renee and I walk out, and there's the whole family, my grandparents, my aunt, my mom, my dad, whatever, whatnot, my cousins. They're like, well, where's Edward? I said, I don't know, we lost him. I didn't want to tell him because I didn't want to be responsible. So he said, we don't know. He took the other turn in the hallway. But I wouldn't recommend going down and looking for him. He's like, okay, well, he'll find his way out, whatever. So the day progresses on, and they had a concerned look for us, like something happened when we walked out of those double doors outside, and it was this gloomy day. So then, remember, it was about the 4th or 5th floor, between 3rd and 5th floor that we were on in that hospital. So then we come back, we visit him again, and then we leave, and we go to my cousin Josh's house. Well, he's got this house near the woods, and in the woods, there's a really tall hill far back, and it's still all wooded area. And I was walking up to the house, and from walking into the house, you can see this hill. I see this tall-ass motherfucker standing over there, just standing, staring at hundreds of yards away. So I'm like, something's going to happen. We have a good day, you know what, not go home. Josh is at his house. And then I got a call from my grandfather the next day, where the hell is Josh? And I had an immediate gut feeling that guy killed him. And then I woke up and that was the end of the dream.
That is so fucking weird. That is legitimately the weirdest thing I think I have heard in a long fucking time.
I have not had this dream in 2 months. and I remember it that good.
This is some fucking horror movie shit.
Yeah. I know we're past for time, but we're going to continue going. And I have a couple things on my list, and that was a long time, so... Menticle, is there anything that you had on your list that you wanted to discuss before I move on to my next thing?
No, my whole list was things about you, so...
Okay. So, the next thing was... I don't know what's going on with me, medical-wise. I really don't know. I think it's a thyroid issue. I could be very wrong. It runs in the family, and the thyroid affects everything. One of the main side effects is anxiety. But I also have OCD on top of this, so they work hand in hand to make my life miserable. I've had my experiences. Menticle knows it. I've told him I don't feel comfortable sharing them. But I've had my experiences over the past couple months, and that's why I didn't do the podcast. But I think that OCD has gotten worse. And everyone's like, oh, he's got OCD, he's got everything in order. Yes, I have to have everything in a neat way, or it bothers the complete living fuck out of me. But another thing with OCD, and it's not like, oh, I have to wash everything. I don't have that, really. I'm a freaking grease monkey. I play out in the dirt and shit, and I have fun. But it's the overactive, ruminating thoughts. I overthink everything. Like, there's a point in time where I thought I was, like, over this period of time, that I thought I was never going to get a hold of Menticle ever again. And obviously, we don't live even in the same continent, so it's like, I can just reach out and go down the road and, hey, no. Yeah. It gets to the point where you overthink everything. You overthink. Like, I could be saying something stupid like, oh, I don't know. I forgot to fill someone's gas up in the car. Or petrol, whatever you want to call it. They got pissed because they had to go to the doctors and they're late to the doctors. Right? Or their meeting or their interview. I feel bad, and I'm thinking the whole time, they're going to make it. They said, oh, I'll be fine. No worries. You had an accident. No problem. The guy's okay with it. In my mind, the whole entire day or the next couple days, I constantly ruminate these thoughts of, is he going to get that job? Is he not going to get that job because of me? Is he going to be late to that? Is he going to be pissed off at me? Is he not going to let me use the car? Am I never going to talk to him again because I screwed up his job and money opportunities? I'm just using that as an example. That'll happen for anything.
That sucks.
It really does. And the doctor, it tried me on Zoloft, and that stuff made me feel horrible about myself. I don't want to go into that, because that was a very bad time with that medicine. And then they put me on another one, I think it's called Buspar or whatever, and they bumped up 3 times. It's an anxiety medicine, depression medicine. I'd use it for anxiety. I'm not depressed. But it works. I don't take it, I know it. Another one to take is fluoxetine or Prozac, whatever the fuck it is. And that one's for OCD. But those things work hand in hand for side effects. They get bad vertigo and whatever. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't want to search it up because I don't want to experience. I don't really want to know what could happen. And then, things have happened in my life that triggered the OCD, and that makes it worse. So I went into this spiraling, ruminating thoughts with everyone, everything, and I don't have really anyone to talk to that much. I do, but I don't. And so I seeked out the help of getting a therapist or counselor, whatever you want to call it. And I didn't find them to help. I mean, I've only gone there a couple times. I'm still not going to give up on it. But they talked about me getting the fucking COVID vaccine for an hour straight. I don't give a shit. I don't care if you get the COVID vaccine, good for you. I'm not going to get mad at you. I don't want the COVID vaccine for my health reasons, and I don't know what's in it, so I don't want to take it. And I respect the people who take it. I don't care. I'm not going to treat them differently, But that's not what I'm there for. I'm not worried about the COVID vaccine. I'm worried about hurting people. These thoughts that come into my mind that ruminate. And I'm so concerned and worrying about everything. I overthink everything. I had to make everything. I worry about things that are in months in advance. Yes, there's important stuff, look forward to, like college and stuff like that. I'm talking about stupid stuff. Like, what am I going to do tomorrow? Am I going to see Edward? Am I going to see, am I going to talk to Menticle? And I ruminate on those thoughts, and I keep thinking about it all night, and I just don't sleep. So I'm on sleeping pills too, and those don't work. So then not stupid, but this therapist put me on CBD pills, and that works sometimes, I guess. But I didn't get much from her, and I was having a real shit day today with all the stuff going on. I had a real shit day today. So I went down to the school psychiatrist, and I did sign up for a psychiatrist, but I don't see them or her, him, whatever. I don't know who it is. Probably, I think it's him. I don't know. But this doctor in January. But I went to go see the school psychiatrist because it's free, and I'm not wasting my time because I have to be in school, so I might as well go during my lunch and my gym period. Or physical education period, whatever you want to call it. And, that teacher freaking down there did more for me that's free. Yeah, she gets a paycheck, but not $140 an hour, or half an hour like the one downtown does for me. And they haven't done anything. I think, at least by the second visit, I'm only in the second one. Yes, I had to be patient. But you would think by the second visit, they would talk to me and, give me some things to help me with it. This counselor up here, or psychiatrist up here, literally gave me things to help me with things, deal with it and cope with these thoughts. And, OCD is a serious manner. It does. People have varieties of it, and it varies. And mine has gotten worse with all the things that trigger it, but she gave me things, and, you have to tell yourself to focus. Like school, I can't focus because of all these thoughts. She's like, you have to tell yourself, just put it in the back of your mind and deal with it later when you're not focused. And you have to be assertive on yourself. It sounds stupid. You gotta literally think to yourself, I don't want this right now. And it sounds stupid, but that's what helped me a little bit today. And then there was something she talked about. It's a 5-4-3-2-1 strategy. And this is kind of when you're going off on all these thoughts. And then most of our viewers are teenagers and young adults, so they're experiencing the new change in the world, and they're not new change in the world, but like the way that we're growing up, as far as like jobs and schooling and stuff like that. So if you get those thoughts, you think of 5 things you can hear. Using your senses, right? 5 things you hear. Oh, I can hear the pen scribbling on the paper. I can hear a teacher droning off. I can hear the computer power up in the corner, the student talking, and whatnot. List 5. 4. Even 4 things that you can see. I can see, I can see my cup of coffee in front of me right now. I can see, my TV. I can see my Xbox. And I can see the pictures of a very important person in my life right now. The third one is 3 things you can smell. Whether that be, a candle, more like diesel or gas, wherever you are, propane, cooking, food, or even just the nasty smells of shit or whatever's floating around to the school. I mean, that's public schools, but and then 2 things that you can feel. I can feel a piece of paper, the list I have stuff in, my hand right now. I can feel the texture of my data slides I got on right now just to go around the house. And number 1 is taste. What can you taste? I have black coffee. I can taste the black coffee in my mouth. I love my coffee. That's what makes my freaking day. That is an important thing. Little things like that are important to me. Now, if you guys were following along doing this, I don't know if you were Mintical, but you see how calm and relaxing and quiet it is after you do that?
Yeah. Of course.
I don't know if you were following along, but with it sounds stupid. Trust me. I'm not. I think it sounds fucking retarded. Or stupid, sorry. I don't mean to use that term. I'm sorry.
You have
I
full
don't mean to use
clearance,
that
my
term.
friend. You have full clearance.
I'm sorry. I did not mean to do that. I meant to say stupid. Fucking stupid. But
Okay.
my bad. All my apologies. But that's one thing. And then not engaging. You have to know when to engage and not engage. Because there's certain people in life that if you ask questions, they're going to get mad at you. If you don't say anything, they're going to get mad at you. Doesn't matter what you do. They're going to get mad at you. You have to make an experiment, and you have to make split decisions on whether you want to do that or not. You can try questioning and like, what did I do wrong, or what can I do to improve? But usually, most of the time, they give you a smart-ass remark. Or, if you don't say anything, or you say okay, or alright, they're like, oh, it's not alright. Oh, it's not okay. But you have to focus on what you're comfortable with, not what they're comfortable with. You have to focus on yourself first. And I don't like selfish people, but you have to be selfish in that manner to where you have to focus on what you need to make yourself happy. And it sounds very, stereotypical, not stereotypical, but,
Cliche.
Cliche. You have to be happy with yourself before you can help others. People don't want to be around a miserable person. I know. I've lost people, but I'm getting their contact back. They're talking to me a little bit more now, and they have stuff going on in their life. I'm not getting into specifics, but, this person and I are trying to figure things out, and it's getting there. But we need to work on ourselves before we continue the friendship. We're not mad at each other. We still talk. We still hang out. We just need to focus on what's important in our aspects of lives before we can, help each other out, because we forget about what we need to improve on ourselves if we're trying to figure out how to help others. So that we ourselves, without realizing it, in these friendships in life, we forget who we are. We forget how we solve these without the other person. If that makes any sense to you, Mintical.
Yeah, of course.
And I don't mean to go out on this philosophy here, but I was talking to my grandfather about this and how all these stupid counselors either help you or you don't. And the counselor up at the school, what she was telling she was telling me, just don't talk back, and if you need to, go up to your grandparents, play board games, play card games, do what makes you happy. But then again, not everything's going to be happy in life. And then again, you can't go up to play cards at your grandparents all the time. That's not an opportunity every time. You can't run away from the problems. So there's some times where you need to make the decision to separate yourself from the problem. And there's times where you need to embrace the problem to learn a life lesson from it. Life isn't easy. And I'm not even close to having any experience of, workforce or anything like that. And I have no room to speak on those people that, that have more experience than me, but I'm just going off of what I am learning now. And this is going to sound really stupid, but this is a great tactic that I found out of all of those. It makes sense, but you can literally do it, or mentally do it. So you have a problem, right? Say you have an argument in your friendship, and it's over something stupid. You think it's stupid, but to them it's important, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and they're mad at you because you went out and you took their car out for a wash, but they needed that car and they got pissed off at you, right? I don't know. I'm just trying to think of something that, isn't really that big of a deal, but to some other one, it is. Just think of a situation. Imagine that in your mind, right? And you have a problem and you don't know what to do. And as much as you want to scream at them and swear at them, trust me, I've been there. I really have. I have lots of experiences with that. And I don't mean to go on this philosophical or whatever. Philosophical, there it is. Philosophical, there we go. Let me take a swig of coffee.
Fucker,
here.
I'm trying to drink my water and you're saying philological. Fuck off, philosophical.
Yes, philosophical. Tangent or rant here.
Can we just really quickly appreciate Lucy Lavin in chat for the Arsenal cancel there? Thanks for that. Much appreciated. Much love.
So, anyways, back on this topic. So you have a problem, right? You're in an argument, and there's really nothing you can do but other than just take it and deal with it. So you think to yourself, you do all these, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or you tell yourself to, snap back out of it and focus on, the problem at hand. You have now either figuratively or literally have a piece of paper with the problem on it. Focus on that problem, look at it, think about the outcomes, think about the downfalls, and the good things about it. Think of the more the positive, right? And you have this little or figurative piece of paper in your mind with a problem and all of its components written on it. Now imagine or literally look at a bookshelf or a container or something of some sort. Take that problem or this book of your problems or your thoughts or your components of this argument, and you take that book and you put it on the bookshelf. it's gone. It's still there. You can always refer back to it, right?
Yeah.
But that problem or that book on the bookshelf, literally or figuratively, will be there for you to reference, and you can see the outcome of the situation, and you can turn back to what happened and what you can fix on that, situation. But when you have, like, think of, like, your mind as, the library. You're checking books in and out. When you go to the library, you get a few books, if that, maybe one. And one thought at a time is a lot easier to handle than 3 thoughts at a time.
Yep.
But once we keep all these open problems or open books in the library, we tend to confuse the plots or, the components of the problem or the argument of the book, right?
Yeah.
So if we can take these one by one, even if it's 1 out of 10 books or problems, whatever you want to say, books, I'm just going to call them books, 1 out of 10 books that you can officially put away in the library, that's a win. That's more than nothing. You could be not putting any of those books away. If you get 3, or even 5, that's a plus. That's a win. That's half the shit off your mind. So you take those, you analyze the components, you shut the book, and you literally or figuratively put the journal or book into the bookshelf and away in the storage facility of the library. It ain't open. It ain't being checked out. It's being put away for reference or later use in the bookshelf in the library, right? So if we're talking about this figuratively, you're just keeping it there. Don't think about it. Just analyze it and put it away. No big deal. Do what makes you happy, right?
Yeah. That is great.
But literally take that journal or take that book, because I might honestly start writing things out and just putting them away. Put them in the bookshelf, and if I take out that guy's car again, I was saying, to take a car wash, how do I deal with it? Well, next time I can analyze the components and ask him, is he going to be needing a car today, and could I borrow it? And if he says yes, I'll borrow a car, I'll get it detailed for him, and I'll bring it home and I'll surprise him. And if he doesn't like me cleaning out his car because he might have things in there that he doesn't want touched, then you say, I'm sorry, and you analyze the situation, and there's nothing you can do. There's no reason to ask why he doesn't want his car cleaned, because it's just going to trigger this guy even more. So you're going to analyze the components of the situation, write them down figuratively or literally in the journal / book, and put them in the bookshelf, and just look at them when you need to. But you don't want to have all these books open in the library because it's too much.
Yeah.
So put them in the bookshelf and call it a day. And that's one of my, I don't know if it really works. I think it works for me. That's when I heard the whole bookshelf, analogy today. And I found lots of comfort in it. It sounds stupid, really does. But
as long as it gets
works.
you by, as long as it gets you by and it helps you personally, that's good enough. It does its job, even if it sounds, even if it is to an outside person a bit ridiculous. Yeah, it helps you, and that's pretty much all that matters, especially if it is an analogy for yourself, and if it's a way of coping for yourself. So, I'm glad you found that, genuinely. Good shit, bro.
It's really comforting, really relaxing, and I'm hoping that it will help me restore the relationships and the friendships with people that I have, Yeah. Because once you start focusing on other people, you forget about yourself. I'm a very selfless person. Selfless people that are completely selfless are not doing anyone good.
Yeah.
They're usually, once you overwork yourself into helping others, you become a miserable fuck. I'm sorry.
True.
So you have to take time for yourself and take a book and put it on the bookshelf. That's my analogy for the day. And I share it with you on this podcast because it's helping me, and I'm sure there's someone out there that's going to need this.
I think so. Because with the
teenage audience and the young adult audience, They're going through jobs. They're going through schooling. They're going through college. They're going through relationships. They're going through everything. And usually these health or mental issues happen around in this age, I would consider. That and a midlife crisis, whatever. But, I think the whole book on the bookshelf in the library, the library has all the books. But you're only paying attention to the books that are open. And if you have multiple books open, you can't focus on all the components or the plots. So you have to put some of those books away after reading them, but keep them there in the bookshelf. You don't throw them out, because if you throw them out, you forget about them. But if someone, hey, what happened in this book? Or, hey, what do I need to learn in this, non-fictional story or non-fictional diagram? I just go back to the book, skim it, and the problem's there and how I overcame that problem or what the ending of the problem was. All that matters is the ending. What happened, what you can do, and what you can't do. You need to make a split decision. Is this worth arguing over? Is it really worth keeping another book open in your life that you don't need? And that shit gets really deep. But that is my number one advice for anyone right now that's struggling. And with this COVID shit, that also decreases everyone's mental health by at least some. And all the politics and everything else, that decreases people's mental health as well. And money and whatnot, economy, I don't know what it is like over there, but it's pretty freaking shit here right now. But, that's my analogy. That's all I have to say about the bookshelf. And, I still struggle with OCD and all that. And the medication does help. But it's medicating the problem, not fixing the problem. So yes, medications do work, and it does take time. But it gets to the point where sometimes I have to have my remotes in a certain order, a certain way, color arrangement, But you just gotta know, is it really worth spending my time over? And it's well easier said than done. Trust me, I've been going on this for about a year now, and I'm just finally figuring it out. But if I can help anyone's day or help anyone out through that dark time, I'm willing to do that by giving them that advice right there. And that's all I have to say on that topic.
Well, that was a great talk, actually. Good job.
Thank you.
And I can guarantee that someone has actually been helped by that. We hit a record high view count there of 9 concurrent viewers during your rant.
Really?
Yep. We had a very quick spike upward. We went from 6 all the way up to 9 for a solid 10 minutes or so.
Oh, really? That's cool. Well,
yep.
I hope that the little of you that were listening or tuning in, I hope that really helps you. And we're not going to get all this deep. We need something funny, And so from there, you have to find, and this is where another thing is, you have to find things that make you happy. I am a big car guy. I'm a big gun guy. Whatever your decision on guns, I don't really, get involved in it. But I love, I've always wanted to go hunting, right? Deer hunting, turkey, whatnot. And I've had all my stuff for a while now, and my family and I got together and we decided to go hunting. And so this was my first year going hunting for white-tailed deer in the northern tier of New York. And that ended last weekend, I believe. I would spend 11 hours a freaking day. At the last day, I spent 11 hours straight. 5:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. or 16 o'clock, whatever you want to call it. That's a long time. But the bonds you make with these people, I've grown so much closer with my grandfather over hunting. You don't talk when you're hunting. But the stories, the excitement, the pride you get, the saying you went out in the woods and you might have just sat there, but just seeing a deer is just so relieving and so interesting. It gets your heart beating so much. And there are times where you missed or you clipped it in the wrong spot and it lives, but it's bleeding. I did that this year with a doe. It was a nice doe. And I looked at the cartridge and it's something messed up with it. Maybe I'm just a bad shot. I'm not afraid to admit it. But you know what? I'm going to write that problem down, fix it, and put it in a bookshelf. Save it for later.
Perfect.
So I'm not worried about it. I feel horrible for that deer that I fucking shot his leg off. But,
Yeah.
and, that's the way, and probably not a lot of you are religious, but that's the way that God wanted it. God wanted it out in that plan. And, you don't have to agree with me on any of this, but that's the way He wanted it. That's the way that life goes. And that's the way that He wanted it because it's going to benefit me in some way. And it is, because making me, I have to be more confident in my shot before I'm going to take it. And I'm to be, cycling all these different safety, things and accuracy and practice. It's making me a better hunter.
Yeah.
But I had some funny hunting stories. I'm just going to do the funniest one that I remember. So throughout this hunting season, there's been these two crows.
Just one thing before you continue. I did not notice. Our dear friend in chat said that he's gonna call that a night. So I hope you sleep well. Good night. Just wanna.
Good night, man.
Thanks
for tuning in. Yeah.
Of me.
And
for him, so.
Yeah.
Stuff
And anyway, so there's these two crows, and they're not like your normal crows. They're huge fucking wood crows. And, you walk in, you walk across a lot, go hunt, and then you walk into the hardwoods. Well, no, the ridge on the left. And then you got the swamp on your right. And, the crows make crow sounds, obviously. But then there's a couple times where you'll hear it a few times. They sound so stupid, like, blah, 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 like they're choking on something. Like, what? What the fuck is happening?
That?
Like, they're making all these gurgling, like fucking choking sounds. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And you look up, and there's a crow fucking circling over where the deer was, or circling over your head to tell them deer where you are. I'm like, well, what the fuck? You cock eater. So,
we stand a crow sound, holy shit.
Yeah, and, the last day of hunting, we're out there for 11 hours. This motherfucking cocksucker would not shut up for 5 hours straight. And it progressively got worse. It was normal crow sound. And then it got more of like a gargly sound. And then it went quiet for half an hour. And then, as soon as we pack it up to leave, you hear a fucking dog bark. What the fuck? Look up, it's a crow going. And then we're using our deer bleats, right? The doe bleats. Like, it sounds like a sheep. I'm not going to do it. Actually,
go on. Give us a rendition. Give us a rendition.
I got it right here. I got my deer bleat right here. So that's what my deer bleat sounds like. A sheep one. Go full blast. So then you hear this fucking crow half a mile, not even half a mile, probably a couple hundred yards out, making a fucking deer sound, and you have a fucking crow next to you making dog sounds. What the fuck is going on, you stupid... I'm thinking to myself, these stupid crow fucks.
What the fuck? I just have an image of a crow fucking barking.
It's like one of those ankle biter fucking dogs.
What the fuck?
And then you hear the fucking crow in the background going like that. Just like a deer. Just like a fucking deer. There's no deer there. It was a stupid crow calling to the dog crow. These are stupid crow fucks. That's what I call them. The stupid dual crow fucks.
I need to lower my fucking mic volume.
So that's my funny hunting story of this year. I'm not gonna. Do you want me to go through the swear words that my grandfather has said, or do you not want me to do it on the podcast?
I think we're gonna have to save that for a different episode, man. We've been going for almost 2 hours now.
Yeah, we're gonna save that for
36. So I'm gonna have to wrap it up here, I think, because fucking this might be our longest podcast.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to end it with, some serious notes and help, but then you have to turn it around and make it fun at the end.
Exactly.
And those of you who are, also dealing with this, I want you guys to keep on tuning in. We're going to try to do it every Friday around this time, or to the best of our ability, Fridays or Saturdays.
Over the weekend, that's a guarantee.
Yes.
We
by
will
at
never
least the
be
end of the
streaming during a
weekend.
weekday because that is bad for a majority of our audience who are probably going to school or work and they don't really have the privilege of staying up later as such during the week. And of course, as you can guess by the name, Midnight River Rock Goblins.
Yes.
Kind of gotta stick it midday or midnight because ignoring the fact that's in the name, the entire concept of this podcast was us being tired as shit and talking about whatever we could think of. But
And usually when you're tired, you don't say stuff right. And
It
you
was
think of
quite
stupid, funny shit. And when people get laughing, everyone starts laughing. To make the smile is what makes, the day. So, if you haven't smiled at all today and I helped you make you freaking smile, I'm glad that I did. But I think we're going to wrap it up here. I want to appreciate everyone for tuning in, listening to me, even though if it was for a minute. I appreciate you all tuning in, and I can't wait till next time. Anything else you want to add?
I'll just do my simple intro. Thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight. I mean, to reach a record of views on the first day back after 7 months is pretty fucking impressive, so I'm happy with that. And I thank you for sticking around and actually, staying with the podcast, sticking through it, through our long absence. We will try to get back on a regular schedule because, of course, school and all of this stuff gets in the way, but I at least am starting to get my Christmas holidays. Sure, Carter is as well. So, and it's easier for Carter anyway because he's 4 hours behind me?
5.
5 hours behind me. So
look, for me right now, it is 9:42, right? Yeah, 9:39. And then for you, it's got to be like
a.m.
what?
2:39 a.m. So, we apologize to any of our EU viewers who are watching this, especially those in Middle Europe, because even our dear friend, whom I shan't name here, he's 2 hours ahead of us. It's almost 5 a.m. for him. He stuck through it until basically the end, and I respect that, and I thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much.
But, everyone who was in chat today, even if it was only 2 people, your contribution counts. You help us with the algorithm. All of the likes and the view retention, thank you so much. And please, do tune in next week, roughly around the same time. We will probably not talk about the same thing. If you want to say anything before we go right ahead. Otherwise, thank you and goodbye.